Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you know, for future reference, if you need a longer meeting, I have an account with Zoom. So I can initiate a meeting if you wanted me to, if we wanted to do it in advance, if you knew it was going to be a longer meeting, I could do that because my wife and I bought a Zoom account back quite a long time ago because we do family reunions and stuff on it. So
Yeah.
just so you
Yeah.
know, I do have one. So if you need a longer meeting, just let me know and we'll use that link.
Okay, sounds good. All right. Anyway, well, so we'll get the meeting going here. I'm anything, sorry, I'm working off this tiny little tiny laptop here. But let's see if I can.
So we need the minutes approved.
Yeah, why don't we do that?
Okay.
I know you sent the minutes out.
Yeah.
Tim, and things looked pretty good to me, so I was okay with it.
I agree.
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so moved. And we'll get a hard copy of that out. So you guys can see my agenda, by the way, I hope.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yes.
All right. And so we did that. So Margot, do you want to talk about the demolition delay? It looks like you got some good progress with that.
Yeah, just today.
Yeah.
Okay. So I had noticed that the cities, in the building department, the project checklist for commercial projects did not have as a listing that any historic buildings that are hoping to be demolished, that they needed approval from our commission. So Mark Snow said, we are mentioned, and certainly he does send all demolition requests through. The process has been in place for 2 years that John and Terry get the applications for demolition
That's
and
correct.
get to review it. Right. But it isn't formally on his checklist, and he said he would change that so people realize that there is a permit required or an approval required from GHC.
Good.
So then he said, but the problem is, like with the recorder building, by the time he gets an application, they think they've been all approved by the planning board or the zoning board. And really, we're so late in the process that it would be better if people understood that we're involved earlier. It would be better to get us involved earlier. So he said, so you really should talk to Eric Twarog. And so then I sent Eric an email because I didn't think I'd get through to him, but he wrote right back saying, yeah, you should be, and that he'll change. There is this 12-page guideline. What's it called, John, that I sent out? It's like
the development guide.
Right.
And, project checklist guide to development.
Yes, and that was put together. It's 2020. It's very comprehensive. I'm getting feedback as somebody. Anyway.
Might be the cat.
Yeah. So he's gonna modify it.
Good.
Good.
And he'll put us in on the usually, I don't know when, well, anyway, when a project comes in and it has to go to the zoning board and the planning board and the fire chief and everything, everybody gets emailed that it's coming. and they get to look at it and put it on their agenda or whatever. And so we're going to be included in those emails.
Excellent.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. very
So,
good.
you know, had that
Nice work.
been done, well, thanks. We would have been able to give comments to the planning board.
Mhm.
Am I making my own feedback?
Yeah.
You aren't
Might be.
hearing?
Yeah, you are, because I'm hearing your voice twice.
Oh, okay. What if I just do this? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, no, you can't. Wait a minute.
Yes, we can.
Yeah, we can hear you.
There. Now, can you hear?
Yes,
Yeah.
we can hear you all along.
Don't tell her that. She solved it.
All right.
No,
So that's in the works.
Good.
yeah, that is good. Yeah.
Eric mentioned that a very substantial project's coming along, which Terry certainly has been involved in.
Yeah, most certainly.
That involves some major demolition.
Yeah, which we actually, first of all, I believe the state, one of the state boards told us we could not demolish the fire station. And, right, John?
Yeah,
And-
correct. Yeah.
And we went and argued that and won.
Yeah. So, yeah, a little bit of that of the back history of that is because the fire station was built on the land which was formerly the backyard of that house, which is the library now.
Right.
Before it was the library, that was the backyard. And so that property was protected under that. And so Mass Historic Commission reached out to us and I worked with them to say, we get it, but there's nothing there and we're okay with it. And at that point, I met with the fire chief and toured the fire station, the current fire station, and made a list of things that they wanted to save and if you will, like an understanding of certain things that we would work with them to preserve. So like the cupola on top and the weather vane and one of the poles, brass poles. And a few things like that they made a list of. And of course they have a lot of artifacts inside of it. Lots and lots and lots. They could build a whole museum.
Yeah.
They really have a
I've
lot
seen,
of stuff.
I've seen that. Yeah.
Yeah.
They've got the old pumper, the old
Yeah.
heat pumper, and they've got that elaborate machine that ran the whistle.
Correct,
Pull
yeah.
an alarm. That thing, that air-driven system with a punch tape and everything. All of that
Yeah.
stuff is museum quality. It really is.
Yeah, plus they've got just cases and cases of medals and photographs and uniforms and ephemera.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I think that going down the road where we worked proactively with the town and the state to be part of it, which was nice, and that's the way things should work. And so when it comes to the demolition of the fire station, I think we'll be in pretty good shape. And I think that even though it looks historic because it was built as sort of a replica kind of a thing,
Built in 48, right?
like 36 or something. It was like a
Little
during the
older than
Depression.
that,
And
Yeah.
you could go to many towns around the country and you'll see like the same one kind of thing.
Yes, you will.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's made to have those large barn door, like for horses kind of thing.
Yeah.
But those are fakes. Those were never really for that. Anyway, so there's nothing really historic about the building in itself. It's concrete and steel and that kind of stuff. It's not old. So anyway, so that's a pretty good thing. So hopefully we'll be in fine shape with that. But so with that, I guess it's a good time to talk about the recorder building, because this is kind of how we kind of got into this, looking at the demo delay thing.
Right.
And so I made contact with the prospective buyer, who's Rui Fernandez, Shaft Solutions. It's like a big machine shop.
Right.
And I know we talked about it a little bit. And so they don't own it yet, and it's looking like they're going to close on it maybe in the next 2 months. Is kind of what what he told me. I spoke with the owner, and he seemed like a pretty cool guy. He seemed like he was genuinely bummed, to use his words, to have to tear down the old recorder building, which was the church, youth hall. And but he said, the way that they built those other buildings around it makes it almost impossible to try to do anything with it, because it's kind of boxed in by those other buildings. You guys know what I mean. Plus from what we've gathered, the building is compromised in many ways in terms of its integrity. But he did point out that in his investigation that there were some really, really old timbers in there.
Yeah.
Hand hewn.
Yes.
Yeah. And he was like, oh, I'd love to find a way to salvage some of the stuff. And I told him about my kind of crazy idea that we could make some sort of a replica of that Greek revival pediment, and kind of like a portico, where I was just kind of come up with ideas that I thought would, when it would kind of preserve the integrity of that alleyway, that little back section of town, which is kind of neat. And there's very few places, if any, where you can turn a corner and look back into time like that. It's pretty dang unique.
It is.
Anyway, he seemed really, really amenable to that, to doing whatever, and to any kind of ideas or propositions that we might put out. So that's cool, but they don't own it yet. And was it Michael Moses, who was the editor, or what was it? The publisher, sorry, who's now left. So he's no longer there. So my former contact, but we can still, of course, set up a date to tour it, which we should do as soon as we can, before next meeting. Okay.
Yeah. That whole building is owned by Newspapers of New England, which is headquartered in Concord, New Hampshire.
Okay.
And they're the corporation that owns that paper, as well as the Hamp Gazette and several other dailies. And they're the ones that actually own it. So they would be the ones that would be making the decision on it, not the local publisher. He would just be their representative in the local area. If you look at the structure of that building, it was joined to some wooden buildings that housed the early operations of the recorder, and the fire in 35 or something like that burned those buildings off the back of them and burned part of that building itself. And so that was reconstructed with fireproof reinforced concrete that backs right up to that building. So what you see is really the front of the wooden building, but behind that is all concrete. And then there's also a fire tower, stair tower that joins it on the side toward the movie theater. And so there's very little of the original building left, just the front and maybe one side wall and the roof. And the rest of it has all been, it's all reinforced concrete that was made specifically to be fireproof. And in fact, there's a vault on the top of that tower that joins it. And the vault was designed to be a fireproof repository for old newspapers. And that actually has a door that goes into that building, meeting room on the top of that building. So it's a very complicated structure. There's almost no part of it that's freestanding.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks.
Probably not.
So I guess my thing that I'd put to you guys is, this seems to be an opportunity here. And if you guys have any ideas, then I don't know, think about it. And in the meantime, I'm going to try to, for me, it's good. Afternoons are really good typically, but I do have the week of President's Day off. So the 15th through the whatever that is, 18th or something. I do have that week off. So I'd be available during the day.
Great.
All right. Well, yeah, that would be a good time. Who's going to arrange it?
I can do that.
Great. Great.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, what else? My agenda is unresponsive. But
What was the next thing?
Well, the next item is a Peter Miller Award.
oh, right, of course, of course. Well, so we've had a few submissions, right? I don't know if we've heard from everybody, but from those of us, at least here, everybody seemed to really favor the parking garage as kind of the first recipient of that, which I think is perfectly fine. It's very fitting.
Sure. So Margot, who would be the person or persons responsible for that? Those decisions involving the bas relief and the other stuff. Who was involved in that?
Well, it was really the mayor, and he was the client pretty much. So
Yeah, the Ford dealership. I know Terry and I.
yeah, I mean, you guys should be named because you saved them in the first place.
We kind of
We
yeah.
had to wrestle Cartelli to the ground. But,
There was actual wrestling, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. In order
I mean,
to
it was a joint effort.
I'm trying to think now who else was. Well, anyway, we could think about who else to be included with that.
Well, I mean, who used to be the chair of this commission?
Randy Hansis.
Randy Hansis.
Correct. Yeah.
No, the woman.
Marcia.
Marcia.
Yeah.
Right.
Marcia Starkey.
Marcia Starkey objected to the demolition of the
The Goodell building.
auto parts place. Right.
The Ford building. Yeah.
Yeah. And no, not the Ford dealership, the auto parts on Olive Street.
Oh, I see. Right. Yeah.
And somehow got Mass Historic, what is it called? Memorandum of Understanding that the garage, in order to use that property, had to incorporate design elements from anyway, so there was Mass Historic involvement there.
Yes. Right. Anyway, yeah, we'll have to go back and look at that. I have it somewhere in a file.
Yeah.
So it seems to me the way to do this is we need to announce the establishment of the award, and then to name the first recipient or recipients in order to do that, and then put that announcement in the newspaper and whatever other media things. That would be the way to do it, right? Do we have to pass it by the town, you think? Or can we just do it on our own?
I mean, I certainly can reach out to the mayor's office just to get like an okie dokie on it.
Yeah.
I don't see why. I think we're okay to do that.
But since we're a town commission, I wouldn't want to step on anybody's toes. But,
Right.
but as far as the process is pretty straightforward. We need to write a press release that would announce the formation of the ward, probably using some of the language that I put in that original description, and
Right.
then describe this particular award with a appropriate photo. But it seems to me that the details of who to talk to, it would be too bad to do that and then leave somebody out. That was a part of the process. And I would say Margot's probably has the best chance of anybody of being able to put together that list. What do you think, Margot? I mean,
Sure. Yeah. No, I can
Right
go
on.
back to my record. Yeah. I mean, it was a municipal investment. So in a way, the former mayor and the current mayor could take credit for it.
Right. We certainly want to hand a lot of credit around, because the whole idea of this is to promote things like that in the future.
Right.
So, we
Yep.
we don't want to be stingy about praising people.
No, let's make as many people feel good as we can.
That's
and
right.
Yeah.
That way,
Yep.
it
So
clears
I'd
the path.
be willing to write the release if Margot would give me the data on who to thank. I could certainly write the release and then pass it around to everybody to get their approval and editing changes and things like that. And then at whatever point we felt was a good idea, we could send that to the newspaper, try to get an appropriate photograph, or photographs probably need a photo of Peter to go with it. And then announce it, and then put it on our agenda to do the same thing in another year or so.
Be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That'd be
Margo, if you want to get the gen together, I can take a shot at writing a release.
Perfect.
Okay.
That would,
Do we have any budget? I mean, is there going to be a certificate or something nice that you actually?
Well, I would
ceremony?
We
think
have a little bit of a budget, yeah.
yeah, but it'd be a
Yeah.
problem as to where to put that. I mean, you could give it to the mayor or the town, have them put it up in the town hall, or put a copy of it in on the wall of the garage in an appropriate weatherproof container. But I would think just a print, simple print job would do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bob Moorhead had some ideas about the design of that. I think the one that I cranked out took me, at least 11 minutes to do it. So it wasn't exactly what I call the high point of my design career, but certainly maybe Bob could take a shot at doing something that would be a little more sophisticated, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds good.
How about it, Bob?
Oh, you're muted.
Bob, you're muted. You're muted. Unmute yourself.
Little red microphone. Lower left of the.
There you are.
Is that better?
Yeah, now you're with it now, man. You're online.
Now you're part of the deal.
Everybody in the world can hear you speak. You're all set.
Terrific. I have the files for the old Asher Benjamin. I was just going to simply substitute initially Peter's name.
Well,
then I'll send it around as a PDF.
Sure, that'd be great.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
That'd be great. Yeah. But as to where we put it, you could send out multiple copies to everybody that you name, I suppose. That probably wouldn't be a bad idea. And
Mhm.
you can get that printed at, fancy printing on fancy paper at
Yeah.
Copycat or someplace else wouldn't
That's a
wouldn't
good
cost
idea.
much. Yeah, we've
But
got.
if you get a Preservation Massachusetts award, it's framed already.
Oh, well,
That's
Woo.
when it's framed.
okay.
And Mass Historic used to frame it, but I don't think they do anymore. So what the heck? I guess the recipients have to frame it.
Well, we've got a few bucks, don't we, John?
We do have a few bucks, yeah.
Yeah, we could probably spring for that.
Yeah, I think that's not a problem. I'm sure we can make that happen.
Great.
And so who's going to write the press release?
Tim's going to give it a shot.
Yeah, once I get the information from Margot, I'll thrash something together, but nothing will happen until everybody approves it.
Okay.
Sounds
Fine.
good.
Great. Terrific.
Excellent.
Great. We have about 8 minutes left. It's telling me on my screen. Sorry.
All right,
Okay.
let's go.
Luckily, we don't have much to say.
What else have we got?
It's the local history room at the library. What's the deal on that?
Yes, correct. So I've been asked by Lisa Perlman of the Greenfield Library to be on a advisory committee regarding the local history room that they're going to have in the new library when they build it. So I said, sure, of course. And that's going to be tomorrow is the first meeting. And
You understand that that room was already reserved.
In terms of name.
The name, yeah.
yeah, this has nothing to do with the naming of the room. It has to do
Yeah.
with whatever the contents is or the display of that. So
Yeah, John and Pam Staberski have paid for that room.
Oh, that's great.
yeah.
Oh, that's
Um,
perfect, really. It's really good.
so yeah, it's going to be. I imagine it's me and a number of other folks that are going to be involved in I think just sort of the nuts and bolts of it. So that was just a thing I wanted to put out there. So I'll report on that next week or month.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's the genealogy room too.
Well, I don't know that maybe. I'm
Hmm.
not sure what that all encompasses.
Well, the old green room in the library used to have, it had copies of this vital statistics for all the years going back through the years in the state and I guess
Right.
local. It had copies of some of the business directories that sort of put things up, but it
Then
didn't
muster
have,
rolls. I
yeah,
think from like the Civil War, like all the guys that enlisted, it had a lot of cool stuff in it for sure.
yeah, well, yeah, a lot of that stuff is in the history, is in the Greenfield histories. But I don't remember, there was a bunch of pamphlets and stuff in there. I don't remember anything else but that. But there was row upon row of vital statistics.
Hmm.
They had a roll of news. They had a roll and a machine set up so you could look at newspapers going
Yes.
back.
That's right. That's right. The microfilm, because
They'd all been microfilmed.
yeah, I had a deal with the library that we microfilmed the paper and we gave them a copy of every roll. So we had a roll at the paper and we gave them a roll
Okay.
that we paid for. So that was where those rolls of microfilm came from.
So I wonder if there will be walls where you put portraits of,
Peter Miller.
yeah. Well,
Well, there is that really nice one we saw.
yeah, right.
Portrait that somebody painted. Yeah, that's one question. Is there going to be room for exhibits that could be
Yeah.
taken care of? The historical society has got a lot of stuff like that could be used in those displays, ranging from advertising material that was handed out over the years by different companies in town, everything from paperweights to calendars to whatever. They've got a whole cabinet full of that. So there's a lot of things that could go in there if you wanted to circulate stuff through there. That would be something that could be done.
Yeah, that's great. And yeah, obviously I'm going to look to you guys for lots of input on that. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm excited to be part of that. I think it'd be really kind of cool. And I certainly hope that it has places to display maybe a little revolving case of local things that, there's so much out there.
Right. It'll be hard to limit.
Yeah, that's right.
Sorry. We're getting Girl Scout cookies delivered here. So there's pieces of Girl Scout cookies. Yeah.
I thought maybe the dog was signaling the end of the meeting.
Yeah.
He's trained to tell us when it's time to quit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
3 minutes and 33 seconds. He
Right.
barks 3 times. 3 times louder than anybody else.
Here we go.
Perfect.
So, stop. Sorry. So with that, I did a little bit of research because somebody asked me about the town hall building, which is currently now the town hall, which wasn't built as the town hall. So then I kind of started doing a little bit of a rabbit hole of research to find about, well, when was the first town hall and meeting place, and kind of so I could have my own education about that, which was actually interesting. There was some stuff I just, I didn't know this, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But, of course, the town hall that we use now was not the town hall 100 years ago.
Right.
That was the second courthouse.
That was the second courthouse, yeah. And they actually built, in 1855, they actually built a real proper town hall.
Yeah.
beautiful building. And it was now where is Veterans Mall,
That's right.
Yes,
which is in
Washington Hall, I think.
yeah.
Yeah, correct. Very nice building. I'm not sure what happened to it, but it's gone.
Oh, well, yeah, they used to show movies there and stuff. It was really quite a place.
Yeah, so it's kind of interesting that after all those years, they finally went and built one. And it was funny because the guy who was building it, he didn't finish it. He became embarrassed, quote unquote, because he didn't finish it. So they had to bring somebody else in.
Yeah.
But then, I'm not sure when they moved into the current town hall, but they couldn't use it for very long. I thought was weird.
Yeah.
Anyway,
What happened to it?
Did that have a fire or something? I don't remember.
it must have, and that's well, like I said, that's one of those Peter Miller. If he was here, I could say, Peter, what happened to it? He would tell me like I was an idiot and I should have known.
Yeah.
Right.
I need to work on that. I'm trying to work on that. Sorry.
Your Peter Miller persona, you got to work on.
Yeah.
Be
Yeah,
more
I remember he
contemporary.
told me all the story about that. Wasn't it a different style? And then it got colonialized.
Well, no, that's the current
Current
town hall.
Courthouse?
Yeah, they made it all. So when they made it, yeah, they made it all Gothic-y looking, and it looked
Yeah.
kind of
Right.
cool. And then they stripped it all back down again.
Yeah.
And put
And,
that
anyway, I found
colonial
some-
stuff on it. Yeah.
I'll send you guys some of the pictures that I found. It's kind of neat, but anyway, we're
Great.
running out of time.
Okay.
Okay.
We're
Good
gonna
to see
go.
Everybody.
Okay. So
Make
long.
Make a motion. Make a motion, we adjourn.
Motion,
We'll see you at the recorder building.
I make a motion that we adjourn or
Adjourn.
I
adjourn.
second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
See ya.
Aye.
Are you gonna let us know by email when the recorder tour is?
I will. I will keep you guys in the loop with all the stuff I found out, and let's keep communicating. So I'll see you then, but probably before that. Okay.
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 Good.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Take care,
Bye,
everyone.
guys.
Stay safe.
Bye bye.
Stay safe is right.
You too.